Okay, what's going on, world? This is Julio Acosta coming to you guys live from sunny South Florida, coming from my home, and just wanted to take a little bit of time to add a little bit of value for you guys this year. We are 2 weeks into the year. Today is January 13th, Friday the 13th, 2017. And I know that some of us have been crushing our goals this year, and some of us have not quite crushed them the way that we wanted to. However, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time here with you guys, just giving you guys some direction and giving you guys some of the things that I do in my life to not just crush my goals over the last 6 years of my life and be able to achieve a lot of my my dream goals and things of that sort, but to also just create a ritual, because that's the things that I create in my life. I don't create habits. I don't have, it's like habits are cool, but you can break habits. But rituals are things that are engraved in you and things that you have to do. If not, you feel weird not doing them. I'll give you a perfect example. One example is brushing your teeth. I hope that for the majority of us here on this phone on this live webinar. If you don't brush your teeth one day, you probably feel a little bit weird not doing it. Same thing with bathing, same thing with, tying your shoes. Like, I want to be able to express to you guys some of the stuff that I do on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis that are just integrated into what my character is and has, created this kind of output in my life. So, I started off the promotion for this live video by saying that, I wanted to talk about the power of the number 50. And the power of the number 50, I think that when most of us think about the number 50, I know some of you guys think about 50 Cent, but 50, for me, in my head, what immediately pops in is the word balance. I know that a lot of us as entrepreneurs and a lot of us as, new business owners and people that are going after, a new, goal or setting to... or trying to set a new level, trying to reach the next level in your life, you're also struggling with trying to find balance. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that. The other thing about the number 50 that hits me immediately is that we're already 2 weeks into the year, and that means that we have only 50 left in 2017. It's going to be a quick 50 weeks, a quick 50 Fridays before we're in 2018. And so what I want to do with both of those things is to not only help you guys understand, how to create balance in your life, but how to also be able to, maximize the next 50 weeks of your life and not take for granted even 1 week or like just be aware of the brevity of what 2017 is. And so, I hope that with this video that I put out there, it contributes to you and as a person, as a entrepreneur, as a brother, as a father, as a as just an all around human being and a high level putting a high level human being. So here's the deal. So I wanted to start with balance. I'll be quite honest, like a lot of you guys know me as the guy that just works really, really hard, and I bust my behind on a daily basis, and I try to be good at everything that I put my hands on, from being, a leader and a mentor to people, to being an advisor, to leading from example, to being on the field, to being a good dad, to being a great dad, to being a great husband, and, just trying to do my best all around. And so, I know that a lot of you guys have asked me questions in the past where you're like, how do you balance? How do you get, how do you balance and juggle all these things at the same time? And, my answer is always there is no balance. And my answer is never going to change because there actually is absolutely no balance. What I have been able to do is I've been able to create these little habits and these little things where I'm aware of when I'm running imbalance, and I don't go too much time with having that imbalance in my life. I'll give you guys a couple examples in a second, but I think that the three things that I want you guys to focus on right now as far as your life and what you want to focus on for checks and balance purposes is, one, the physical attribute of who you are and where you are physically and how you take care of yourself physically. The second one is mentally. How are you developing yourself mentally? How are you growing mentally as just, you see, the brain is a muscle just like anything else. And unlike the muscles, where the muscles start to feel fatigue, the brain does feel fatigue, but it's going to continue to grow regardless of age. It's going to continue to develop. It's going to continue to, get sharper, and so on and so on and so on. So mental, and also how to feed your spirit. Those three things are things that I want you to focus on. And some of the stuff that comes to mind when I think about the physicality of what it is to be an entrepreneur and what it is to, build the kind of business that we're building is that, unlike athletes, for example, athletes spend 90% of their time working out and practicing for the game. Entrepreneurs spend 90% of their time, if not 100% of their time, and not just entrepreneurs, even employees, man. Employees, anyone who's in the workforce, like we don't realize that we spend 100% of our time either at work or thinking about work, and so it takes a toll on our brains. Any of us who've played sports before understand that, like, the hardest part and the most intense part is when we're in the middle of the game, and those games come far and few in between, given the 12-month season of a year. A lot of the times too, not a lot of the times, all the times, athletes have an off season. The times where they can just go out there and, chill out and kind of just like, let their muscles rest and, basically relax. Whereas entrepreneurs and employees and things of that sort, CEOs and so on, we're thinking about this business 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're on it 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's like our livelihood depends on it 24 hours, 7 days a week. And what we fail to do is take our off season, and we don't fully disconnect with our businesses, and we don't fully connect with our businesses because we're so worried on, touching everything at the same time and trying to keep a quote unquote balance. The best way to describe what I've been able to do over the last couple of years of my life is that I'm a constant sprinter. I constantly sprint. And I'll give you guys a good example. So Saturday, we went up to Orlando, and, Orlando ran travel parties from 12 p.m. all the way up to, almost midnight. Like, we were doing events every day. And if you guys did, if we did the math on that, we did about 6 events that day. We had some breakout sessions and so on and so on. And in my head, that 6 events that we did that day was enough to cover the entire week for most people. However, I still, took action, but that intense Saturday gave me the opportunity to have, and that intense Saturday building the business, and that intense Saturday, pouring into the masses and pouring into our team, allowed me for an intense Sunday pouring into my family. We went to the circus. I was still on the phone and doing those things, but this is what I'm aware of. I'm aware of disconnecting completely from the business to connect completely with my family. A lot of the times, you guys will notice that my phone will be on airplane mode. Every night when I go to bed, my phone is on airplane mode. When I'm at dinner, my phone is on airplane mode. When I'm with when I'm holding an event, or I'm focused on, a one particular person or one particular group, my phone is on airplane mode, meaning I'm not being distracted, or I'm not on social media, and I'm not, doing the things where my head is being pulled in a bunch of different directions. The physicality portion of what we do here is important, not only when you think about the amount of hours that we put into this business and, being fit enough to perform at a high level in this business, but it's also about, feeling confident in standing in front of a room, or, feeling confident in speaking for 60 minutes sometimes, or 45 minutes, or 90 minutes, depending on, how long your presentations are. I also think that some of us maybe because we're not feeding the other 2 parts of our balance, our spirit and our mental portion of it, we end up looking for supplements to feed our physical portion of it. Some of us might drink 10 cups of coffee in a day, or, something where you need to manufacture energy versus just having the energy inside of you. You see, a lot of us don't realize that the mind will always do what the body will give up before the mind will. And if your mind is right, your body will follow through. So those are just a couple things as far as physicality I want you to think about, when it comes to this business, the athlete portion of it. If you guys look at the body of a sprinter, the body of a sprinter is usually fit, strong, solid. They have these big legs, these big arms. If you guys look at the body of a marathon runner, they're usually very slim, very skinny, weak looking, and that's because the sprinters understand when they get started, they can see the finish line, they can see where it is that they're trying to reach, and so for a short period of time, short bursts, they give it everything that they got, and then they stop and they unplug. and then they go back to the starting line and they give it another short burst of energy. And that's what my business looks like on a week-to-week basis. I'll give you guys another example. So recently, January 1st, we took a little competition, and it was me and about 50 other people that basically created a criteria. And what I know about that criteria is, one, a lot of people are excited about something day one, but then day two starts to lose steam. Day three starts to lose steam. Day four, they don't even remember what they got excited about. And that comes back to the mental portion of this thing. You see, if you're not constantly feeding what's going on inside of your head, if you're not constantly giving yourself, the gems and the tools that it takes to continue to move forward, and more importantly, if you're not listening to powerful audio or reading something that's going to make you more than anything aware of what's going on around you and what you're actually participating in, then you're just going to be lost. Some of the stuff that I've noticed from reading books like As a Man Thinketh by James Allen is that when I'm feeling lazy, it's not my body, it's because I lack the motivation inside of here. And so it's a quick way for me to catch myself, get up, and put in an audio inside of my head. Some of my favorite people to listen to are Jim Rohn. People like, I really like listening to stories about people that I admire. Like recently, I've been listening to a lot of Michael Jordan, listening to about how competitive he was. I like listening to, I like Mark Cuban, the Shark Tank guy. He's a billionaire. He's always very powerful about the stuff that, not just powerful, he's just very convicted about the things that he's excited about, and about competition and about competing with others. My favorite thing that he says about competition is that competition in the business world is the most ruthless competition, because you don't even know who your competitor is. So the best way to look at your competitor is probably just to look in a mirror. You compete with yourself. You try to do better than what you did before, whether it was the day before, the year before, the month before, and that's the constant push. When you feel yourself feeling burnt out, a lot of the times it's because you haven't completely unplugged. You see, a lot of us spend all day thinking about the business, and we don't take at least 1 hour to just check out. Something that I end up doing every night is when I come home, I take maybe 2 hours to watch a movie. Usually it's movies that inspire me, movies that move me, movies that, feed my spirit, feed my soul, movies that, inspire me. Also going to a presentation, going to an event, or on my way somewhere. Sometimes I may unplug from an audio and I'll put in one of my favorite music MP3s, or I'll start streaming something from Pandora, upbeat stuff that motivates me, things that are talking about, the places that I want to be at. And that helps me not just to totally unplug and, kind of get away from what's happening right now, but it makes me more powerful when I come back. One of the coolest things and craziest things that anybody ever told me one time was Mr. Ed Blunt. I remember I was talking to him, and I was talking about how engaged I was and how crazy I was building a business, and about how, I wanted it to go faster. And he told me something that I thought at the time didn't make sense. And what he told me to do was, he says, take a weekend off, go to the movies, don't pick up your phone, ignore everything that's going on, and when you come back, you'll be bigger, badder, and better. And when he told me that at the time, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And to take 2 days off was almost impossible. But I took 1 day, to myself. I took 1 day to just say, you know what, I'm not talking to anybody. They're gonna have to whatever. I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I'm not gonna be on social media. I'm not gonna be on any of that stuff. And it definitely helped me out. When I came back and I got re-engaged, it made me feel like it was day one. Today I still do those things. I'll take an hour, I don't take a full day, but I'll take an hour. I'll take a little bit of time here, a little bit of time there, and just to myself. And this is away from business. This is away from everything. This is just, a little bit of time for me to basically meditate. I know people that do that, like Mr. Russell Simmons. He does that with yoga. I know sometimes I might go to the sauna and I'll spend, 45 minutes in there or 30 minutes in there and just, think to myself and just relax and, let the mind wander. And then when I get back engaged, it's like I'm 10 times more powerful. Some of the other stuff also that I do is I'm just somebody who is spiritually full. And what I mean by spiritually full is that I know I'm very clear on what my mission is. I'm very clear on, what it is that I want to accomplish, both this year and in my lifetime. And it's because I take time to stop and think. I think that so many people make mistakes, or so many people let time fly by them because they don't just stop and think sometimes about what it is that they're doing or where exactly it is that they want to go be. All of us talk about we want to make a lot of money. We want to make a lot of money. We want to make a lot of money. But then for what? It has to be something bigger than just toys. It has to be something bigger than just, status. It has to be something that is less selfish and more selfless. Because if you ever notice, like in the movies where the guy's going and slaying the dragon, he's rarely going to slay the dragon just because he wants to. He's usually doing it because he's going to save somebody else, or he's going to save a town, or he's going to do something that's more purposeful and more fulfilling than, just saying he slayed the dragon. So, like, if you guys watch Star Wars and things of that sort, like the people who are usually the hero and the people that are of that cloth are people that serve on a bigger purpose. And your purpose may be different than mine, your motivation may be different than mine, and your motivations may change. You might be more motivated about something right now than you were last year, and next year you might be motivated about something else. The key is just to be aware of what it is that is motivating you. Everybody is motivated by something, whether we're motivated by fear, whether it's that we're motivated by distraction, we're motivated by trying to fit in, we're motivated by different things. Everybody's motivated by something. I just want you guys to be aware of what it is that you're motivated. I want you guys this year, Team No Sleep is not gonna. It's always stood for sacrificing sleep to succeed. And it's always been a big part of my life because it's something that it keeps me up at night late. It gets me up early in the morning. But I think that on a deeper note, it's probably more about being aware. Being aware of what you're doing all day, every day. Like, you need to be able to ask yourself every day, okay, is this feeding my mind? Is this feeding my spirit? Is this feeding me physically? Is this feeding is this feeding my purpose? You got to be able to ask yourself that all day long. And the more you can catch yourself, in a space where maybe you're not necessarily feeding those things, the more productive you're going to be, the more fulfilled you're going to be, the more happy you're going to be. I heard somebody say today that pleasure is temporary and happiness is long-term. Focus on your happiness. Focus on your long-term goals. Focus on the things that you want to achieve. And that doesn't mean to drag your feet. It means do as much as you can right now so that later on down the line you can enjoy them. And as far as balance is concerned, and as far as feeding those three deals, or those three sections of your life, it's about not burning out, and it's about being as optimal as possible when you're doing those things. I think that sometimes people see what I'm able to do in a day, what I'm able to do in a week, what I'm able to do in a month, like flying up to New York at 9 a.m., coming back at 9 p.m., going up to Orlando and doing all these things that I've been doing. And they wonder how it is that I have the energy or the ability to go do those things. And they'll call me a beast, and they'll call me this and that. And I'll accept it. I'll take it, but really what it comes down to is that mentally, I'm fulfilled. I'm constantly learning. I took boating classes recently. I'm going to take firearm tactical classes. I'm going to take flying airplane classes. I'm constantly learning. I'm always listening to new personal development audios. I'm always learning about new people. I'm reading a book on Nikola Tesla. So mentally, I'm fulfilled. Spiritually, I'm tremendously fulfilled. I'm so happy to be a part of everything that's going on here. Happy to be a part of your lives. I'm happy to be a part of this company. I'm happy to be a part of the history that we're making on a daily basis. I'm happy with my family. I'm happy with the direction that we're headed in. I'm happy, to see my children flourish. I'm happy to see those things. And so, spiritually, I'm sound. Physically, I'm exercising. I hired a trainer, a really good friend of mine. I'm working out every morning. I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm getting more, a little bit more solid and things of that sort. And so I'm fulfilled on every level, and so it allows me to go perform at a higher output and than what a normal person would, because I feel like my battery is charged, from all different ends. All three of my batteries are charged. Recently, the promotion that we had, not the promotion but the competition that we had, I like to call it competition because in a promotion, like somebody who's a double IMD and doing the kind of income that I'm doing on a monthly basis usually isn't the guy that goes and competes with the new guys immediately, especially at the disadvantages that we're at, for where everybody knows, or people have an idea of what it is that we do and things of that sort. And we do have some advantages, but we also have an equal amount of disadvantages just like anybody else. But I decided to compete with everybody because I wanted to be able to not just lead by example, but to show that if you can keep a balance in your head and complete these tasks on a weekly basis, you're gonna have the biggest week of your life. The four components of our competition, basically the competition was that you needed to score 3 points every week, right? And the basis of the competition was on bringing in new members and helping those new members, achieve some of their goals while simultaneously achieving your own goals as well, right? Number one portion of the competition was to sponsor a new member. You would get 1 point for sponsoring a new member. Number two, the second portion of it was when you help that new member make their first sale or their first referral, you would get 2 points. Now, if every week all you did was sponsor one new member and that new member got one new member sponsored, then you would score 3 points and you would win the week. A lot of us can do that in a day. A lot of us can do that in a weekend. A lot of us, can do it in a week. It's just a matter of, participating and, finding your balance and being able to sprint. Go really, really hard over the weekend and then slow down over the week, or go really, really hard over the week and take your family to the movies, or, find a way to decompress over the weekend or something of that sort, right? Just find your balance, find what works for you, so on and so on, right? Now, wings, if you help somebody get their wings, a brand new member get their wings, and that would be 4 points, 3 for this week, and then 1 that would roll over for next week. And then whenever you cycled, it would be 1 point. And so, basically it was us and 50 people participating in that. And out of the 50, I predicted that it'd maybe be 45 that would not be able to achieve that based on the 80-20 rule. Now, the 80-20 rule for me in my head is just based off of anything else. It's like, for example, college. If you look at college, we all know that there's more freshmen in college than there are sophomores, and there's more sophomores than there are juniors, and there's more juniors than there are seniors. And it's just that way, and it's always going to be that way, not because of anything other than the fact that people are human beings, are creatures of different ambition and different levels of desire. When it comes to this business, I see it happen all the time. And the point that I wanted to prove was not that anybody was better than anybody else. It was just that I wanted them to be aware of the physical and emotional jump that you made when you first heard about the competition versus at the end of the week when 6 days has passed and maybe you didn't feel the same way anymore. I wanted people to be aware of how it is that people set weight goals at the top of the year and don't meet them at the end of the year. I wanted people to see how it is that you set money goals at the top of the year and then you don't deliver on those money goals at the end of the year. And this is just a 7-day deal. It wasn't even a 1-year thing. And you see, my mentor, Mr. Eblon, again, told me how you do anything is how you do everything. And so if you let 1 week pass by where possibly you couldn't stay, motivated enough to complete the task, then you're probably going to roll that over into the next 52 weeks. And so what I wanted to do with that is to make you guys aware for the next 50 weeks of what it's going to look like. If you just, not of what it's going to look like, I'm sorry, let me take that back. I want you guys to be aware of what the next 50 weeks could look like if you do fully engage. We went for 2 weeks. The first week we had, I believe it was 2 people who met the 3-point mark besides myself. And in the second week, we had, I think it was 2 or 3 people who hit the 3-point mark besides myself too. It's not a coincidence that it's the same amount of people that hit it the first week that hit the second week. It's just the 80-20 rule, and it's the 99% versus the 1% kind of a deal. I want you guys to all start thinking like one percenters. You deserve it. You are worth it. Everything that this world has to offer is for you. You just have to go out there and prove to the world and prove to, God, if you're a spiritual person in that sense, or if you're a religious person in that sense, that you want it that bad and that you're willing to go, change and commit to be able to acquire these things or to achieve, these marks. So those are the things that I kind of want to just talk to you guys a little bit about. Again, some of my rituals every day. I wake up. I spend time with my son in the morning. I spend time with my daughter when she gets home from school. Then it's time to go to work, and then it's time to get busy. At night, I turn my phone off. It's on airplane mode right before bed, because if I go to bed thinking about the business or anything, all these things, my mind races and I can't sleep. I have trouble enough sleeping as bad as it is. But what I need to do at night is I need to, watch something powerful, maybe a documentary, maybe something of that sort. Maybe sometimes I might even go and just take a jog or something like that, just because I need to be able to take at least an hour or something like that at night to kind of just balance me out and take me back to where I need to be at. I know that I'll have a little bit more time now than what most of you guys have, because you guys work full-time jobs. But if you have a full-time job, just, what I would do when I worked as a hotel manager and I was working 60 hours a week is, in the morning, as soon as I get into my job, I would basically do everything I was supposed to do throughout the day within my first 3 hours or so. Then I would take the next hour or so throughout the day to, listen to an audio or something like that, to something that was motivating, something that would talk to me about where I'd be in the future in the next 12 to 24 months, 36 months and beyond. Then when I came home, same thing. I spent a little bit of time with my daughter because she was 2 years old, and at that time I had less time to spare, but I still made sure I spent that time. And then I went to work and I built my business, and when I came back home, it was the same routine. Those are my rituals. Those are the things that I do unconsciously, because I've trained myself, and it's become so in tune with me that if I come home at night and I don't do it, I can't sleep or I can't function right the next day. If I don't spend that time with them in the morning, or if I throw myself out of balance during that time, I need to find a way to throw myself back into balance later on in the week and later on in the month, and so on and so on. So with that, I hope I gave you guys some clarity. I know this is a little bit different than most of the stuff that we usually talk about. This is not like the hypey stuff that we go all crazy about, because I believe that hype goes up and comes right back down. But if you can train yourself how to deliver, if you can train yourself how to be efficient on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, then there's nobody that can stop you. People tell me all the time, I'm coming for your spot. I'm gonna come get you. And I wish that you would. I wish that you guys, I wish that the people who do tell me that, really come and get that, because it's a reward in itself to achieve something. It's such a reward in itself to know that you sought out for something and that you completed that task. So I wish that for everybody. I wish that sense of fulfillment, for everybody who I meet, everybody who hears about my story, and everybody who's around us and who hears about Team No Sleep, and who hears about what we've been able to accomplish together as a team and as a unit and as a family, over the last couple of years. What I also want them to realize, man, is that, you're shooting for this spot, but you don't understand where we're looking. You don't understand what the next destination is for us. And so, I'd tell everybody, man, shoot for the stars. How they say, shoot for the stars. Most of us, most of the stars in the universe, we can't even see them, so just aim out there and shoot for the stars. If you're shooting with a slingshot, pull back as hard as you can and shoot it as far up into that sky as you can, and aim for whichever star it is that it may land on. Because if you don't hit the star, like they say, at least you'll land on the moon. So with that said, I hope that, again, you guys got some value out of this, man. Just lock and load, find your balance. 50 weeks left in the year. You have an opportunity right now, as an individual, as a team, as a family, to do the unexpected, do the unseen, do what's never been done before. Do, something that's going to blow the socks off of everybody who knows you, blow the socks off of everybody who doubted you, and blow the socks off of everybody who's, not necessarily rooting for you. So, with that said, much love, respect, and peace, love, and hair grease. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks over in Arizona. You know, if you guys want, I'll post up on a team page about the breakdown of what we were doing with the 3-pointers every week. I believe that if anybody follows that and they really try to hit a 3-pointer and then some every week, then they're gonna have, you know, tremendous success over the year. So with that said, love y'all. Let me get some of these. Let me see if I can get some comments from you guys right before I close out. So just want to make sure I see everybody and that in case, matter of fact, too, if you guys have like anything specific you might want to ask or something, I'm willing to answer you guys real quick. I got 2 minutes to do so, and I will do my best. So let me know. Talk to me, people. All right. All right. All right, so, all right, man. So I'm out of here. Show some love, and I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. All right. Let me see them thumbs. Let me see the thumbs. Let me see the thumbs go up. Let me see the thumbs go up. Let me see the thumbs go up.